You have Albert Suarez goes 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. The Orioles have added Zach Eflin. Right now, I think if you're heading into the playoffs, you're sitting with Corbin Burns, Grayson Rodriguez, Zach Eflin, Dean Kramer. I don't think Suarez sees a playoff game as a starter as it stands right now. Do you believe that it would be best for the Orioles to put Suarez in the bullpen? And if so, are you okay with that being the only move? And I know I'm seeing a few questions about Gunnar. We'll get to Gunnar in a second. I know I kind of skipped over that. Got a little excited about the Suarez talk, but we'll get to Gunnar in a second. But Kevin, take it away. What are your kind of thoughts on moving Suarez to the bullpen? And
So,
if you think that means they still make a move there.
well, so you're saying would I be happy if they move Suarez to the bullpen, and that's the only other bullpen help they get is only moving him?
So let's put it this way: if the Orioles go out and get I'll just say a Blake Snell, would you be okay with that moving Suarez to the pen, and would you and not make another pen move, but Suarez is that addition?
Yes, I would rather them go get another starter and move Suarez to the bullpen. I think that essentially what that would mean is and whoever it is, Snell, starter, whatever starter it may be. To me, I would rather have that than getting bullpen help and keeping Suarez as the fifth guy. To me, I think that you knock out two birds with one stone if you do get another starter, because I feel so much more comfortable and confident if it's Fetty, Snell, whoever. I know there are other guys we'll talk about, but if you have a rotation heading into the playoffs of Burns, Rodriguez.
Let's say Snell. Let's say Snell because that's who the Orioles are apparently in on right now. That
Okay,
is one of
okay.
the rumored teams that the Orioles are rumored guys the Orioles are going for. I will just say right now, just so you have that option, I still think it's you need one starter, one reliever, and I'm adding a third thing. You need another bat. I think there's still 3 players you need to acquire to make this team a legitimate World Series contender. But would you be satisfied if they got a Blake Snell and they didn't make another move and just put Suarez in the bullpen? Because I'd feel iffy on it, if I'm being honest.
I I would not feel great, but I would feel fine because I think to me, if I had to choose, if so, we already have Eflin. That move is done, and already the Dominguez move. So they've gotten one starter, they've gotten a bullpen arm. If we're talking, choose one of the three: a starter, a reliever, or a bat. You can only choose one. I'm picking the starter and moving Suarez to the bullpen because, let's just say it's Snell. It would be Burns, Rodriguez, Snell, and then Eflin and Kramer, and then you put Suarez in the bullpen. I just think you're knocking out two birds with one stone there. And I also think they need another bullpen arm, but if I had to choose, I would probably go starter and not bullpen arm.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Blake Snell. Over his last, I know people are talking about Blake Snell's not having a great year. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He missed training camp. We know the whole Scott Boras thing. Missed training camp. Man, I'm in football mode. I'm sorry. Missed spring training. Missed spring training. And now he's kind of getting back to it. He was dealing with some injuries, missed spring training, had that whole debacle with his contract, Scott Boras. He wanted a long-term deal, gets a short-term deal with the Giants. He was not good. He was not good to start the year. He had no control of his curveball, and he wasn't throwing his breaking balls for strikes. That was the biggest thing. The only ball he could throw for a strike was his four-seam fastball consistently, and that he was hanging. He didn't have enough feel for any of his pitches. However, over the past few starts, and I'm going to say few, it's more like 6 to 7 starts, but the specific time range I want to talk about is in the last 4 starts, he has gone 5 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. So over the last 4 years, 4 starts, he has a .75 ERA over 24 innings pitched. I'm telling you guys, Blake Snell is finding it again. Blake Snell is finding it again. And I think he has moved to the top of my list. If I'm being honest, guys, Blake Snell seems like that type of move that puts you over the hump because he's not going to cost a lot because of how he's pitched He's not going to command a top prospect. I honestly believe you could make Kyle Stowers the headliner for a Blake Snell trade and get it done. If Blake Snell is your number 3, I'm seeing some people are a little worried about his stuff. Giants, yes. Giants want to cut his salary. And what is something over the past few days we've talked about? What did the Orioles do with Zach Eflin that we have never seen this team really do before? They ate $18 million for next year. $18 million. So this team is willing to eat money to get less, to give up less. And yes, right now, he does have a team option less next year. He is most likely going to opt out. I'm 90% sure he's going to opt out, making him a rental, low risk, high reward. I think this is a very low risk move. I think he is putting it together. I think he is a guy, if you walk into the playoffs and your 4 guys are Burns, Snell, Rodriguez, and Eflin, you can win a World Series with that 4 rotation. Those 4 you can win a World Series with. That is a very good 4, but I do believe I still want another bullpen piece. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. I know we've been talking about getting a right-handed bat. If you land Snell and Tanner Scott, I'm telling you right now, you don't need a bat. Brad puts it perfectly. Call up Kobe Mayo, Snell, Tanner Scott. Call up a Kobe Mayo, and let's go win the World Series. Call up a Jackson Holiday. Let's go win the World Series. This team, if you add 2 guys like this team, I know they're not playing well. But this team, if they turn it around, you add 2 pieces like a Snell and a Tanner Scott, this team has the ability to go on a run. Me and Kevin have talked about it so much. We've talked about on the Ryan Ripken show so much. All it takes is getting in the dance. The Diamondbacks, the Diamondbacks and Texas Rangers, the 2 teams that met in the World Series last year, a week and a half before the playoffs, both teams weren't in the playoffs. Both teams scrapped and clawed and barely made it into the playoffs, and then they got hot, and the rest is history. All you need is a ticket to the dance. Would I love to be the number 1 seed again? Yes. Would I love to have the bye again? Yes. Would I love to go against the lesser seeds? Yes. But all it takes is a ticket to the